What if adding just one thing to your cup of water could help you fight back muscle loss? Nearly 58% of seniors who have already tried this method have seen significant improvements in muscle strength. Welcome back to the Senior Health Podcast, where we dive into real, research-backed insights to help you stay active, clear-minded, and resilient through every chapter of aging. Today's guest, Japan's oldest doctor who is living proof of what long-term health can look like. He's witnessed more than a century of medical trends rise and fall, and through it all, he's trusted food, movement, and tradition to guide his care. Dr. Hinohara, your presence always brings both wisdom and perspective that few others can offer.
That's a very beautiful introduction, John. I'm happy to be here with you again. And this is a subject close to my heart and my daily routine. Hydration is not just about water. It is about how water behaves inside your body, how your cells receive it, and how your muscles hold on to it. Today, we're going to explore 4 powerful additions to your water that can transform how it supports your strength, energy, and even the quality of your sleep. Each one is easy to use, yet backed by decades of research, some rooted in modern science, others in time-honored tradition.
It's remarkable how something as ordinary as water can become so complicated and so personal. I remember a patient in her early 70s who walked daily, ate well, and drank what she called gallons of water. Yet she kept coming in with muscle cramps, dizziness, and this vague, frustrating fatigue. It wasn't until we looked deeper, not at how much water she was drinking, but what was in that water, that things started to change. A simple tweak in her hydration routine gave her back her balance. And I think a lot of people over 60 are in the same situation, doing everything right, but still feeling wrong.
That's the part no one warns us about. It's not just the habits. It's the timing, the tools, and the body they're working with.
You are absolutely right, doctor. So let's begin right there. Why does hydration after 60 become such a different game? And what do our muscles really need that plain water can't give them?
It begins with understanding that hydration isn't about volume, it's about absorption. After 60, the walls of our cells lose some of their flexibility and they don't hold on to water the way they used to. So even if we are drinking regularly, the water might be passing through us without nourishing our tissues.
That sounds almost counterintuitive. People are constantly told to drink more water, but not what kind of water or how their body might be using it differently as they age.
Exactly. The kidneys become more aggressive in filtering, the thirst signal weakens, and even the smallest mineral imbalance can change how water is distributed. For seniors, this often shows up as cramps, stiffness, or low energy that doesn't seem to match how well they're hydrated. And unless someone is actively tracking their electrolyte levels, it's easy to miss.
So the real issue isn't dehydration in the way we typically imagine it. Dry mouth, heat exhaustion. It's subtler.
Yes, I call it silent dehydration. The body appears fine on the outside, but inside the muscles are less sponge-like, the nerves more sensitive, the joints less lubricated. It's not dramatic, but it's persistent, and over time, it wears you down.
That explains why some people feel older than they are, even though their labs look normal. They're missing something essential, not in their diagnosis, but in their daily routine.
And the good news is, it's not about complicated treatments or expensive solutions. Often, it starts with one simple addition to your glass of water. One thing that helps the body hold on to what is already being given.
All right, so let's explore that. What is the first, easiest upgrade someone over 60 can make to their water, something safe, natural, and grounded in both science and tradition.
It begins quite simply with lemon and a pinch of mineral salt. These two ingredients work together to help water stay inside your muscle cells instead of flowing straight through. The lemon lowers the pH slightly, which makes absorption through the intestines more efficient, while the mineral salt restores tiny electrolytes that aging bodies tend to lose too quickly.
That's fascinating. I think most people assume salt is something to avoid, especially as we get older and start worrying about blood pressure.
That's true for table salt, which is mostly sodium chloride. But mineral salts like pink, Himalayan or Celtic sea salt contain magnesium, potassium, and trace elements that actually support muscle and nerve function. A 2019 study from Kyoto Prefectural University of Medicine found that older adults with higher intake of naturally sourced electrolytes had significantly fewer episodes of muscle cramping and better postural stability. You only need a few grains, not enough to raise blood pressure, but just enough to help your cells hold on to hydration.
So it's more about restoring balance than adding bulk?
Precisely. As we age, we lose that fine balance more easily, especially overnight or after any mild activity. That's why people over 60 often wake up stiff or cramp during the night, even when they think they've had enough to drink.
That reminds me of patients who complain about leg cramps right after walking just a few blocks.
It's not that they walked too much, it's that their muscles weren't hydrated enough before they started moving. The water was there, but the electrolytes that anchor it were missing. This small addition, especially in the morning, can make movement feel smoother and more stable.
That's an incredibly empowering idea, that one slice of lemon and a pinch of salt could reduce nighttime cramping, improve balance, and even ease stiffness. And I think what stands out here is that it's simple, it's accessible, which makes me wonder, if that's the foundation, what's the next layer for someone who's already doing that and wants even deeper hydration support?
The next step is using a clean electrolyte powder, something without sugar, dyes, or stimulants. Electrolytes like magnesium, potassium, and sodium are not just for athletes. They're vital for older adults whose kidneys lose minerals more quickly. When balanced correctly, these powders help water stay in the muscle cells and support smoother nerve communication.
That challenges the stereotype, doesn't it? People associate electrolytes with marathon runners, but not with someone simply trying to get up without wobbling.
It's a misunderstanding that's lasted far too long. After 60, the thirst reflex weakens, and by the time someone feels thirsty, they may already be dehydrated at the cellular level. Electrolytes give the body the tools to make water useful, not just present but functional.
So it's not just about drinking more, it's about drinking smarter?
Exactly. A half teaspoon of a well-formulated electrolyte powder in 16 ounces of water can make a big difference, especially after walking, gardening, or even just standing for long periods. The goal is to prevent that slow muscle fatigue before it sets in.
And the kind you choose matters?
Very much. Some powders on the market are packed with sugars or caffeine, which can spike and crash your energy. A good option will have a clean profile, just minerals, maybe some vitamin C or zinc, but nothing artificial.
That actually makes me think of a gentleman I work with who started using electrolytes in the morning and told me he no longer needs to sit down to put on his socks. He didn't change his diet or his exercise routine, just this. And it really speaks to how foundational hydration is. So now that we've covered the minerals and the science behind absorption, What about something even more natural? Something that brings hydration in a form the body might instinctively understand.
One of the most natural sources we can turn to is coconut water, especially in its freeze-dried form. It's rich in potassium, magnesium, and sodium, but in the ratios nature intended. What makes it so special is that it doesn't just hydrate. It delivers minerals in a way the body recognizes and absorbs gently.
I imagine many listeners have seen coconut water on store shelves, but probably dismissed it as a trendy beverage or assumed it was too sugary for daily use.
That's fair, and in some cases, they're right. Many bottled coconut waters are pasteurized or sweetened, which changes their impact. But freeze-dried coconut water powder is different. It keeps the minerals intact without the excess sugar or preservatives.
So it's less about the coconut part and more about how it's been prepared.
Exactly. The preparation makes all the difference. When rehydrated, this powder gives you a mild, naturally sweet drink that's easy to sip, especially for those who dislike salty tastes or supplement powders.
And is it safe for most people?
Yes, for most adults over 60, especially when used in moderation. The potassium content helps with blood pressure and cramping, while magnesium supports muscle relaxation and sleep. It's a gentle way to nourish the body throughout the day.
I've had patients who say they don't like the taste of electrolyte drinks or that they forget to take them. But something naturally pleasant, slightly sweet, easy to mix, could become a daily habit more easily.
That's the beauty of it. When something feels good, it's easier to do consistently. And consistent hydration is what creates real change. Not one glass, but the one you return to every day.
So for someone listening who's tired of stiffness or that drained feeling after just a walk around the block, coconut water might be the bridge between effort and recovery.
Yes, and the improvements can be subtle at first. Fewer cramps, steadier energy, clearer movement. But over weeks, the difference is real, especially in warm weather. This type of hydration can prevent the quiet breakdown of muscle resilience.
It's amazing how something so simple can help stabilize the entire system. And again, it doesn't require a prescription or a dramatic lifestyle shift. So we've talked about minerals, we've talked about nature, but what if someone wants something even more targeted for muscle support, especially as they begin to notice loss of strength?
That's where low-dose creatine becomes especially helpful. It's often misunderstood because people associate it with bodybuilders or gym culture, but in small daily amounts, it's one of the most researched and reliable ways to protect muscle as we age. What many don't realize is that creatine doesn't just support strength. It actually helps the muscle cells hold water right where it's needed most.
That's such an important distinction. We're not talking about bulking up or pushing weights. We're talking about preserving function, stability, and recovery.
Exactly. Studies in both the US and Japan have shown that just 1 to 2 grams per day, not the high doses used by athletes, can improve lower body strength, walking speed, and even reaction time in seniors. It works quietly, rebuilding the energy stores inside your muscles, while gently pulling in water to keep them elastic. That's a powerful combination for someone in their 70s or 80s.
And is it safe long-term?
Yes, very safe when used in low, consistent amounts. Research shows no harm to the kidneys in healthy older adults, and even those with mild hypertension tolerate it well when properly hydrated. The key is not to overdo it, and to pair it with water that includes the minerals we've already discussed.
I like that approach. Not a one-size-fits-all fix, but layers working together.
That's how the body works. Strength, hydration, nerve health. They don't live in separate boxes. When you support one, you lift the others. And with creatine, especially taken at night, you're giving the body what it needs during the hours it does most of its repair work.
So you recommend taking it in the evening?
Yes, mixed into warm water, it dissolves more easily and becomes part of a calming bedtime routine. This way your muscles hydrate and recover while you sleep, and many people report clearer thinking in the morning. An unexpected bonus.
That's something I've seen too. Older patients who describe feeling more present or mentally lighter after a few weeks. It reminds me that hydration isn't just physical. It touches memory, focus, even mood. Which brings us to a deeper question I think many of our listeners are quietly wondering. If these changes are so simple, why haven't they heard about them sooner?
Because modern health advice often focuses on what's dramatic, not what's sustainable. These are quiet solutions. They don't promise six-pack abs or instant weight loss. But they do something much more valuable. They restore the body's rhythm.
That makes sense. We're flooded with headlines and products, but the most impactful changes are often the ones that never make the front page.
And part of the reason is cultural. In Japan, we value small, daily rituals that compound over time. A pinch of salt, a slice of lemon, a warm glass before bed. These are not exciting, but they're effective. Western medicine is catching up, but many seniors are still told to just drink more water without being shown how to make that water work.
So the silence isn't just oversight, it's also tradition being overlooked.
Yes, and unfortunately, many seniors begin to believe the fatigue is inevitable, but often they're just missing a few simple tools, not energy, not discipline. When you correct the foundation, strength returns quietly.
It's powerful to think that what we often call aging might, in part, be dehydration in disguise.
Precisely, and it doesn't take extreme measures to fix it, only consistent attention to how water enters and stays in the body. That's the work of minerals, of natural compounds like creatine, and of honoring how the body changes over time.
That really puts things in perspective. You're not saying hydration is a cure-all, but it might be the missing link that makes everything else start working again. So for those listening, wondering how to put all this into practice without overwhelm, what does a daily hydration rhythm actually look like? What's realistic, flexible, and still effective?
When it comes to hydration after 60, the goal is not to drink more, it's to drink wiser. A small change practiced daily becomes something the body can rely on. And over time, that reliability is what gives us freedom to move, to think, and to age with dignity.
That's such a refreshing way to look at it. So many seniors I know are doing the best they can with the information they've been given, and what you've shared today really shifts the lens. It's not about chasing youth. It's about giving the body what it quietly needs every single day. Before we go, I'd love to ask, if you had to leave our listeners with one line, one simple truth about hydration and aging, what would it be?
Small rituals keep the body alive, but it's the consistent ones that keep it strong. So choose one, begin today, and let it carry you forward.
That's beautiful and deeply practical. To everyone listening, thank you for being here with us on the Senior Health Podcast. If today's episode sparked something in you, a memory, a habit to rethink, or a sense of hope, we'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment, share it with a friend, and if you're looking for more simple daily ways to support your health, be sure to check out our next episode.